Greetings and welcome to the Yerba Power Podcast, where we share the power of yerba mate with the world. My name is Devin. I'm your host. Greetings and welcome. Thanks for joining me. Today, I have a special episode that I thought would be fun and hopefully informative for you all and you enjoy. This would be a time to let me know on Instagram at Yerba Mate Power what yerbas you would like me to review. Because today I'm going to review a yerba and do it live with you guys right now while I'm recording and talk you through what it tastes like, the flavor notes, how the packaging looks, the history, where it comes from. I thought it would be fun to do as live and not edited and cut, but also doing it through the podcast as a way to get it out there. Something that would be informative, something that I think I do better than I do with the video, to be honest. And that way you can hear my thoughts and opinions. You can make your own judgments about whether you like it or not. But that way you have something to base off of before you go and try it yourself. So again, these are my thoughts and opinions. Yours might be different, and I would encourage you to try whatever you would like to try. So I just want to give you my personal thoughts and information. So what I'm going to try today is a special one that, and literally special because it's a Seleccion Especial, so special selection, that a follower from Instagram let me know that was one of their favorites. And when I was asking for different reviews was what he messaged me. And it's called Andresito. So it's like little Andres or little Andrew. I guess is a rough translation in English. So the Yerba Mate Andresito Seleccion Especial, so a special selection. It's a gold colored bag, very nicely decorated and designed, and it's red in the middle with the lettering in white. It has like a band down the middle of it that has a more indigenous, kind of a northern Argentina design, I would say. And on the sides, there's a outlining of Misiones, which is the area where a lot of the yerba mate in Argentina is cultivated. And they have a little phrase here that says Misiones is the land where the, what's the word? Nationality, I guess, begins and friendship is cultivated. So I'm trying to translate this. Tierra donde comienza la patria y se cultiva la amistad. So correct me if my translation was off. Feel free. So it says choosing this product helps to contribute to the growth of the original culture of the Mbaya Guarani, which is the native population, Guarani, that cultivated the yerba mate in the beginning, and the recuperation of the Misionera, the forest in the Misiones region. And this is with a corporation, Guarani Local, so local corporation community, Caguay Bora. Hopefully I said that right. I'm sorry with my gringo accent. You can see them at Yerba Mate Andresito on Instagram. I'll tag them as well. And you can see the pictures. So I'm going to talk my way through this continually, and I'll upload pictures and other thoughts on Instagram if you want to check that out as well. So you can see kind of what I'm talking about. The Andresito Seleccion Especial is a traditional flavor using only the leaves that are mature and between 18 and 24 months. So that means that they've been matured for longer than some. Usually somewhere between 6 to 24 months is kind of normal. Some are like 12 months. 18 and 24 is kind of where you start to get into the, let's say, the, special selection kind of things like this one. At least that's what I've seen in the past when it gets towards 24 months. So 2 years. And so it says a product with a less intense flavor and aroma. And let's see, a long time for consumption. So, well, I guess I'll be the judge of that to see if it is how the flavor, the smell, and duration of it. So I'm going to open this up and let's start with the how it smells, right? Okay. While I crack this open, it's got the kind of top where it's kind of glued at the top like a lot of the Yerba packaging normally is, and didn't open without too much of a problem. They are so it's Argentine cut, meaning it's thick with sticks and stems. This has a particularly pretty thick cut, a very light smell. I don't really get a lot of earthy notes. It smells pretty fresh and clean. So, I mean, that's a good sign of it being natural, but it's not like intense. So, I think that would be consistent with what it said with a lesser intense and aroma. So, I'm using a traditional gourd to try this, meaning it's, made out of the calabash gourd. I got it from Best Mates. I'll tag them as well, Instagram. It's like a leather outside with a metal trim at the top. So the leather is black, surrounding the gourd, and the kind of, let's say, silverish um, metal has designs where like the sun, so the May sun, from the side, Sol de Mayo, so like on the Argentine flag, and it's got a few little symbols on it and some nice little decorations. I thought it would be nice for a special yerba to use a special gourd, and this is kind of one of my, I would say, special, most special gourds that they had gifted me, because it really is one of the nicest premium gourds that I have, especially traditional one. Um, so every gourd, I would say, most people that drink mate would tell you this, that kind of everyone has a story with their gourd. And so, speaking of stories, the yerba called Andresito comes from the name of Comandante Andres Guasurari. And that last name I might have butchered, but so his nickname, Andresito, because he was the first indigenous, let's say, political military leader, governor in the Misiones province. And while I don't know a whole lot about the story, I looked it up a little bit, but being from that region, being Guarani origin, is obviously some pride and pride from that region. And so that's where the name comes from. It's also the region in Misiones is the name where they cultivate this. So in Andresito. Let's see, this yerba is, let's see, what's the word for like when you plant it, I guess? Yeah. And because I was trying to find the word in Spanish, sembrada, like to seed. But so I guess planted and harvested with a group of Misiones like producers in the area of Andresito Misiones, and it's a privileged zone for natural rivers and the reserve of the Parque Nacional de Iguazu. So that's where the waterfalls are, right up in there in the north of Argentina, south of Brazil, and then kind of the east of Paraguay. And that's in that region up there. And Andresito I looked it up on the map, is very far north in that region, so very close to the Iguazu Falls. And there's a special ecological pureness, and they preserve with each stage of elaboration and put uh, they put in all their products. Sorry, I'm trying to translate all this in Spanish and say it to you in English, and sometimes things don't translate. And also doing this live, so there's instructions on it as well as how to prepare it. Um, every one has started kind of putting these more on there about how to prepare. And, I've covered a lot of this in the podcast as well, but basically putting the yerba in there, and they say, incline it to 45 degrees, cover the straw. No, sorry, cover the top of the mate, and then shake it, get the dust out. which, I typically do. And this one, I'll be honest, doesn't really have any dust, which is usually one thing that I note personally because I am not a big fan of dust. Although I understand that the dust has its own properties and um, nuances to the flavor of the yerba, but I'm just not a huge fan. Just because I guess it seems to me like a waste of packaging, and also, and this is my personal opinion, waste of packaging, but also just the you know grittiness or whatever, and that drinking it. So it's just my personal opinions. Other people like it, so don't let my opinion affect yours. Of course, I'm putting in some warm water to let the yerba soak, and then temperature of the water between 70 to 75 degrees Celsius, which 80 I think is the highest Celsius, which would that be like 180 Fahrenheit, which I don't typically drink that hot. Mine's 140, 150, somewhere around there, which is the water I'll be using right now. So I'm pouring some water in here before I put in the bombilla. I do like though that it has a natural say smell to let me know it's how would I put this, ecological friendly, without the pesticides and stuff. It's one thing to pay attention to nowadays. All right, now I'm going to take my first sip and we'll see how this goes. All right, first one. It is life. So it's the first one, right? And so sometimes I can take one or two to kind of warm up and get some flavor in there. But I do feel flavor. And so here, let me try to describe this. So it's not strong. It is true that it is light, but it has like a depth to it, if that makes sense. Meaning you can feel and taste a lot of different ranges of flavor, and kind of like clean yet earthy, yet not strong on any of those notes. Um, Meaning you can taste the flavors, but they're very, I guess, weak. Does that make sense? Or not strong, I guess is a better way. Let's see. Let's try this one more time, right? That was my first impression. Um, so pour some more water in here. Let this sit for a second. I don't know if you can hear me pouring the water or not. All right. Second sip. So there's some more flavor coming through. Still, it is, yeah, lighter. So I think that's good for those that are beginning. How would I compare it to, something Playerito is kind of one of the anchors for me for scale of lighterness, like the light side versus the strong intense side. So I kind of try to think in like terms of beginners, first time trying yerba. Um, it might be a little stronger, like maybe, I don't know, 2.5 on a 5 scale as far as being light, but the depth of the different flavors there, um, but it's not bitter. So it's not like um in the offensive kind of where it's tastes medicinal or something. I do like that it's clean. I do think this is a great yerba. Um, I'm trying to give you a better number scale here. I would definitely, it's going to be over 5. So that's kind of where I start, is like halfway. Like what's just kind of a mediocre yerba, right? So it's going to be more than a 5, more than a 6, I would say. Um, and I would be curious to try this later and see if my opinion changes, especially doing this live and talking through it. And then later, because I've tried different yerbas, where the first time I tried it, it's like, man, it was okay. And then later, it was excellent, or you know what? Actually, I don't know what I was thinking the first time I tried it. Like, this is not good. There's there's been times where, later flavors, I guess, or change or taste buds, or it could even be the yerba itself that maybe you got a different batch. I am curious to know if things like that happen as far as, one cultivation of the yerba that year just wasn't as, good as previous, right? And I'm sure there's lots of things they do to try to keep that consistent. But I imagine with, a natural leaf, it's only so much you can do, right? All right, so I do like it. I'm going to lean towards the somewhere between 6 and 7. So let's do 6.73, just as a random number. That was my third sip. It is starting to pick up some more intensity and flavors. It's still somewhere between low medium on the bitterness and intensity. So it's a little bit smoother, which is good as far as sharing it with others or for those that are new. But to not be bland, which I do enjoy that it has flavor instead of being just, sometimes it can be so clean that it doesn't have different flavors involved as far as getting some more of the kind of the earthy nuances there. I'm not skilled enough to tell you that it, has dark chocolate notes or, acorns or whatever. I'm not that kind of guy, but I can tell you for those that are new, I would say um, this might be something you want to check out after you get used to it, get accustomed. And then those that have tried a lot of different yerbas, I would definitely encourage you to check this one out. Is that not only because a cool packaging and help supporting Misiones region. I like that mission they have there. But also something unique and the good flavors that you'll probably pick up there more than even me. If you've tried it, let me know. And if when you do try it or whatever, let me know what you thought. I think if it's any different. I'd be curious to hear your different opinions, what you think of the different yerbas, or any other ones that you want me to try. So let me know at Instagram. You can message me there at Yerba Mate Power. Also, do have stuff on YouTube that you can check out as far as other videos. I'll try to do better, but to be honest, the podcast is the best place to catch up with what's new on me, that and Instagram. Appreciate you guys for listening, and I hope this helps to bring more light to yerba mate and what the things they're doing as far as cultivating Misiones regions, the different missions they're involved. And I would love to get more involved with the yerba mate community in the sense of not just you guys in a world perspective, because that ultimately is my goal to connect with everyone throughout the world. And it's been so cool to hear from people from, Denmark and South Africa and just places New Zealand, places I would never expect to connect with yerba mate drinkers. So I appreciate you guys for reaching out. But I also want to kind of bring kind of a social justice kind of thing into this and help highlight some of the um, ways you use yerba mate for good. And so I have that in the back of my mind and was planning to release an episode about that. So stay tuned. I want to do yerba mate for good is what I was going to call it. And also I want to do a series on different things to put in your yerba mate. So all that to say is if you're not already following me or subscribed to the podcast, now would be a great time to do that so you don't miss out on upcoming episodes. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Till then, be well and enjoy.